Yeah. Wait, should we record this? Because I saw this on my feed and I was going to leave a comment and I saw your comment on it. And then I
Yeah.
didn't even end up leaving my comment.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay.
When you start your business, no one ever prepares you for what's in store. So finding someone else who just gets it is sometimes the thing that can keep you pushing towards those big vision board business goals.
We're turning our Zoom coffee chats into a weekly, unfiltered podcast. You always wanted to record them and repurpose them for content anyways, and that's on being a social media manager.
I'm Jessica Sheehy.
And I'm Madeline Daigan, and this is
hashtag
managed. I think it's perfect.
I like it. I like it.
It is crazy that we haven't recorded just the two of us in what feels like years, when in reality it's only been a few weeks. But in the words of Taylor Swift's shirt, like there's a lot that has been going on behind the scenes. For instance, the cat is finally out of the bag, and we finally shared that Jessica is pregnant. Woo! We need Harmony. We need a poo poo poo.
Yes. We need all the crazy obnoxious insert crazy obnoxious sound effects there, but I have all of the emotions, to be honest. Well, one, yes, I'm pregnant, so I'm feeling all of the emotions, but more importantly, wow, we kept a secret. I don't know about you, and if you really, I feel like you're kind of similar to me in this way, but I feel like I'm a type A and type B kind of gal. I have type A traits, but I really have type B traits too. And there's not one stark difference. So I think the type A girly in me was when I found out I was pregnant, I'm immediately like, let me organize my life. Let me figure out what this is going to look like for social savvy, because social savvy has been my life for the past 6 years, and now that's going to look slightly different. But I'm also very type B, where I'm kind of just going with the flow. I'm just gonna just go with the flow and see what happens. So yeah, no, I'm so excited that we finally announced it. We hard launched on social media, as two social media managers would do, of course. And I just want to say a quick thank you to everyone who liked, shared, commented on that reel. Your kind words were so sweet, and I so appreciate you taking the time to leave them.
Yes, and I feel like we strategically did kind of plan her hard launch of pregnancy, because as you can see with the new cover as well, we have 3 rebrands now. We rebranded. So what we all knew, Jessica's pregnant. So what at the same time we were rebranding the agency, the podcast, the blog, and including a new service, which
we're doing the most.
Yes.
If most people would slow down, we're speeding up. Let's just say that.
So in conclusion, not conclusion because we're just getting started, but if you are launching a product, service, or a new offer soon, and you want it to feel fresh, fun, and actually get attention, this episode is for you. So listen up. And before we get into today's topic, let's kick it off with our weekly report, since again, we haven't shared those with you in what feels like forever. So I'll start it off. I'm currently reading Most Dope: The Extraordinary Life of Mac Miller for the Savvy Edits book club. Then I'm eating chicken salad. I'm playing The Summer I Turned Pretty, both the show and its season 1 playlist, which I will be sure to link in the newsletter, but it's my comfort show. I'm just obsessed with it, and I'm excited for the new season to come out in July, or at least I think that's when it's coming out. And then I'm obsessing over white tulips, which are my favorite flowers. recommending Mrs. Meyer's hydrangea hand soap. I promise you, everybody needs this because you will feel like you are in Martha Stewart's kitchen. And then I'm treating myself to a strawberry matcha from Second State, a local coffee shop here. Jessica and I went a few weeks ago, and oh my gosh, I dream of it now.
Yes. Okay, now I'm like salivating because I now I can say all the things that I've been wanting to say on the podcast for like weeks and weeks prior. Obviously, I've known for a really long time that I've been pregnant. And so there's been so many times where like prior to us doing this whole stint of guests, which is so fun by the way, but prior to that, like there were several episodes that Maddie and I recorded that even I knew I was pregnant and I didn't tell Maddie or the team. And then too, there were several episodes where like Maddie and even her, like the team knew that I was pregnant. So in my head, I'm like, don't slip up, don't say something, or I'm gonna have to be like, Harmony, we're gonna have to edit that out. But I have to say, I don't think that happened once. So anyway, I was just saying I'm like salivating thinking about that strawberry matcha latte. So good. Okay, for my weekly report, I feel a little rusty, but for reading, I have not been in a reading kick for a really long time. I think part of it is I've been so dang tired. So I've been so happy that we've had guests to highlight their weekly reports, to be honest. So I wouldn't know how to cover that up even if I tried. But I downloaded The Crash. It's, I believe, the newest Frida McFadden book. I think it just came out like this winter, so a couple of months ago. I really like it. I feel like the last Frida McFadden book I read didn't even finish it. And you guys know, if you know, you know, we love Frida on this podcast. I really recommend it so far. I've been obsessed with pineapple whip protein smoothies. This recipe is so good. I am so picky about like protein things, protein powder, like protein shakes, protein bars, because I don't like the taste of protein. Um, but this recipe is so good. So we'll link it in the newsletter. I think everyone should try it. I saw it on a TikTok, like most of us do. I'm playing, and I just finished the series Paradise on Hulu. Really, really great. If you guys are looking for like a really easy 8 episode, like bingeable show, Paradise on Hulu. Really good. I'm obsessing over the On Purpose by Jay Shetty podcast. I don't know what it is, but I'm obsessed with just his interview style. I mean, I've been a fan of Jay Shetty's for a long time, but I've been listening to like most of his most recent episodes, and like the most recent ones that I think are really great, if you want to add it to your, to your queue, the one with Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco, and then the one with Claudia Oshry of The Toast. Really, really love those episodes. I'm recommending these. They're from a local company here in Charleston, and we'll link them. But they are eucalyptus shower steamers by Old Whaling Co. And I think they are the best, like, shower steamers. If you have allergies, a cold, whatever, like, you need these. They are like the biggest shower steamers I've ever seen in my life. But they smell so good, and we love to support local businesses here. And I am treating myself to a mani-pedi because I just need one, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
Honestly, so when I read your report too, so I was listening to the Selena Gomez on Purpose episode this morning because of you. Clearly, you guys, she's my influencer. And I need to go get the shower steamers because Brennan and I have not been like, I think we are also coming like where I can start to feel myself getting sick, where I was like, it's not going to happen to me. Like you were sick like a few weeks ago. I was like, it's not going to happen to me. I feel it. I feel
you
it.
need these. I am adding these to like my holy grail of like products to like consume if you feel like you're getting sick, or if you're like, oh crap, I'm sick.
Yeah.
Like they are so good. And of course, if you're in Charleston or ever visit Charleston, just go visit their store. You will go in for one thing and you will walk out with many things.
Yes. Okay. Well, that was so much fun. But now it's time to get into today's water cooler. And
Join us at the water cooler.
Let's hear a question from one of our listeners and see how we can help.
today's water cooler is from our free Facebook group, which you can join via the link in our show notes. Our Facebook group has over 20,000 members, and it's a really great resource. So this week, like we said, I pulled it from the Facebook group, and you'll see why I pulled it. There may be a theme here. But they asked, what is the going rate for doing branded documents, project proposals, business plans, other business docs, Facebook and LinkedIn banners, branding sessions, refining their message, colors, fonts, logos, etc. I don't charge hourly. I charge one lump sum, and I was thinking $175 for a project proposal, but I'm not sure if I'm out to lunch on that price. Also, I had never heard of that saying, if I'm out. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I feel like you should kick this off because I have a lot
You
of
have a soapbox.
thoughts.
You have a
and I want to come at this with love, but I feel like I'm gonna be able to go off of you better.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, I'll start because I know Maddie's gonna bring a tech talk, and I am here for it. But my initial thoughts for this immediately just go to one thing that they say, and I know you guys are thinking like, "Whoa, what do you mean?" But the one thing that they said, I don't charge hourly. And the only thing I wanted to say about this is when people say they don't charge hourly, that's really concerning to me because you're not using you haven't created an hourly rate that you need in your business. So all of us, whether you're running an agency like Social Savvy, you're a solopreneur, maybe you're in the middle, maybe you have contractors, whoever you are, whatever your business looks like, you have expenses, you have things that you need to pay for. Your time is valuable dependent on your skills, experience, everything that you bring to the table, the type of work that you're doing, the deliverables that you give, the clients that you work with. Like, these are all things that I'm listing that go into your hourly rate. Plus, don't knock down what you need on a personal level. We all are humans paying bills. We have personal expenses. We have things that we need to cover. And so anyway, long story short, this person says they're not charging hourly, and I immediately know, granted, I know Maddie will go deep into that price that they shared, so I'm going to leave that for her. But without even knowing what that project price is you want to quote, I already know you're undercharging.
Yeah.
Because you haven't thought through all of those things. So one thing I would recommend, depending on how you like to do this, get your phone calculator, get a notepad, use a Google spreadsheet if you want to use the formulas in there, use ChatGPT, use something to write out all of your expenses for the month. Write out everything that it costs to run your business and also to run your life. And so that includes paying your bills, putting money in savings, spending money to go get a nice matcha, like so many factors that go into that. But all jokes aside, figure out what that cost is. How many hours do you want to work per week? And that's how you can do the math. And again, you can use a calculator, you can use Google Sheet formulas, you can even use ChatGPT, and it will do it for you. And once you find out your hourly rate, that's when you know I'm not going to get underpaid for the work I'm going to deliver. Now, for everything else related to this water cooler, I'm going to pass the mic over to Maddie. Maddie, what are your thoughts?
One, that is not enough. 175, like for branding. I agree with everything you. Branding takes a lot of time. Like, and for our brand managers and for the graphic designers listening, I know your skin is probably crawling like it was mine. And I don't mean to shame this entry who because it was anonymous, but it's just one of those things where I think in this marketing world, this is we see it all the time where social media managers are expected to be the graphic designer, the brand manager, and all that stuff. And granted, like we do have the mind for it, but it's one of those things when I first read this, I was like, oh, so you're just saying yes to everything. And I think that is important to ask yourself when a client comes to you with this, because I think I was guilty of this in the beginning too. I was the yes man where I would say yes to so many things. And granted, like, yes, I have a graphic design background. Like, everything, like the business plan, all this stuff, like also a business plan that's gone to, like, you for sure need to know your hourly rate for that because that takes weeks.
Yeah, time.
And like, same with branding. Like, you guys, we just went through 3 rebrands. Took months of strategy and like fine tuning. So I think in this situation too, where it's like you don't want to set yourself up for failure in the sense of you're over promising and under delivering. And listen, I have been there. Like, I have done that before, and it leaves your self-esteem like I couldn't like sleep, where it's just like, please avoid the mistakes I have made in my past. And just, we've all made those mistakes. But so this is me, your big sister, telling you that everything Jessica said, yes, do that, because I definitely didn't do that in the beginning. And 2, maybe this is a time where if you really want to build this type of relationship with a client, but branding or things like this aren't in your wheelhouse. Did I say that right? Like, if that's not really in your, this is your perfect opportunity to start a referral program, to build relationships with people, like the brand managers, like people who do branding and graphic design and all of that.
Yeah.
I feel like that, yeah. With everything I just said, would you add anything else? Was that?
No, that was good. I loved your statement around like don't set yourself up for failure. And I think that's one thing that, recovering people pleaser, like that's what we do. Like we are always trying to make the client super, super happy. But at the end of the day, like it sounds so corny and cliche, but if we're not happy and like the work that we're not delivering the best output that we possibly can. And I think that like creates its own like problem in and of itself. So like Maddie said, this was an anonymous post in our Facebook group. Again, this is why I'm so happy we have this Facebook community, because not only like are we two advocates of it, of course, it's our group, but also like we hear from people all the time, like I got the best advice, or, I didn't know this until I asked someone in the group. And so whether this person is really new to business, really new to branding, or even if, I think another thing, because we don't know, we don't have like all the facts, even if they're not US based, I see this all the time, and I know we all have, like, there is no problem. Again, I understand like the cost of like the US dollar, like in other countries, is completely different. So maybe in perspective, 175 is a lot of money. I don't know. I can't give like a specific example of that. But at the end of the day, and I know because I like know several people who are freelancers and contractors in other countries, and they are not charging these rates. You know what I mean? Like they're charging competitively, probably versus someone in the US. And then you look at US versus like Canada and Australia, like three very expensive markets. But anyway, all that to say, just because you're newer, just because maybe you're not US based, if that is this case, or if anyone's listening, it does not mean you have to really diminish your rate. If you're working in this market, compete with this market.
Yes. Okay. And everything you just said made me think of my one last little note for this TED Talk. And that is, this is especially directed towards like my graphic designer, marketing, girly pops and guys. And that is, when you're also pricing out into your hourly rate, think about the experience in the courses and even your education and factor that into your hourly rate as well. Because just like with photographers, like, you went to school. I have a feeling you might have student debt. So maybe you factored that into this hourly rate because yeah, you went to school, you took the courses, like that matters. That's important to consider. And thank you for coming to our TED Talk.
Perfect.
And that's the perfect segue. It's not, but what is on your feed, Jessica?
What's on our feed this week? From trending topics to interesting conversations, here's what's been catching our attention lately.
On my feed is something.
I'm excited for you to explain this because I watch this and I'm confused.
Okay. Also, I have to say this is so funny because this was brought to my attention from Ryan, aka our CFO, aka my husband. So the fact that Ryan is bringing me something viral, I'm like, wow, I am chronically offline this week. Okay, thank you for letting me know. So I had to Google this because I was seeing this too all over like my LinkedIn. All the marketers that I'm connected with are posting about it. And so Saratoga Spring Water is a blue glass bottle of water, so very, expensive in the water world. They were featured in a morning routine. I believe his name is Ashton, is the like 30-year-old fitness male influencer, posts like very stereotypical male fitness influencer coach content on Instagram, but like, I don't know, I'm kind of here for it. So his day in the lives are a little like unhinged in terms of like what he does, but it's just, you ever watch something and you're like, man, does he know marketing? Him or his team, someone is leading him in the best way possible. So part of his morning routine that went viral is he wakes up super, super early, like 3 a.m. Most people who wake up early at like 5 a.m., maybe 4, okay, maybe 3. So starts his day really early and is going through his morning routine. He wears like mouth tape and like a nose breathing strip. And like typically you wake up, you take that off first. He doesn't. He lets it linger. Okay. Small details. Okay. That matter. And they matter for a reason because this is why he's going so viral. So a piece of the day in the life is his morning routine. He dumps his head in a bowl of water, but before he dumps it from this blue glass bottle that is Saratoga Spring water. It's very, very expensive. It's more expensive than like using like a water filter. It's like your Brita. Like it's more expensive than like a plastic water bottle. It's supposed to be like a really great like water brand. Anyway, pours that in, goes throughout his day. This is a consistent product placement in all of his day in the lives. He's consistently using this overpriced water in his video. And I think it's so funny. Like a few points I wanted to make and why I wanted to bring it up is one, it's hilarious. Once I watched this video, I'm like, this is what's going viral. It's kind of insane. But again, I talked about those small details of like the things he was doing in his videos. He'll drive his G-Wagon, of course. It's gonna get views, of course. But he won't park it directly in the parking spot. He'll park over the line. Comments, of course. What? You don't know how to park. He goes golfing. His golf swing, atrocious. He probably knows how to play golf, but like he knows how to get comments, and his videos are going massively viral.
My favorite of this one, because I watched it obviously, and we'll of course include this in the newsletter, but was somebody making him his lunch. And I was like, I'm just like, well, that must be so nice. Like, because again, I feel like his getting ready with me, also just like his entire day, it's like he really is like staging it like this is everybody's dream day, because he also is like in a hot tub, like he works out and like, again, where he knows like he's pushing people's buttons in
the best way.
In the best way.
He takes a banana, eats a banana, takes the banana.
Yeah, I was like, I actually want to look that up. I'm like, I believe it. I believe it.
I want to look it up, and so another point that I'll talk about why I brought this up in just a second, but the way that brands can jump on this viral trend is so good. You have any sort of like, again, if it's a water product, probably better, but like any sort of bottle drink, can drink, pour it in a bowl, do a face like a face dunk, like parody this into the virality for your brand. If you're skincare in the beauty industry, I don't know. It could totally be a joke. I don't know. I'm not recommending. Maybe there's health benefits. We'll look into it and report back if you actually should rub a banana peel on your face. But great piece of content. And so the point that I wanted to share too, and my last point is people are bashing Saratoga Springs for their delay in jumping on this virality. And so someone brought up on my LinkedIn, and I can't remember the specific creator, or I would definitely credit them. If I can find the post, I'll link it in the newsletter. But they talked about how it's not necessarily like the quickness that you need to jump on a viral trend or something of your product, but like how you jump on it. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. They brought up the awesome example of, I think it was during COVID in 2020. There was a creator who was longboarding somewhere in California. He's blasting Fleetwood Mac. He's drinking ocean spray cranberry juice, like out of like a big bottle that you keep in your fridge. And he's just living life. And it went viral because I think, you know, it had good vibes. He's drinking cranberry juice. He's longboarding. Hey, Fleetwood Mac, we're here for it. But Ocean Spray later on brought him on as an ambassador. They upgraded his longboard to a car. They did so many campaigns with him, and it's just so incredible. So it's, you know, it's so funny. It's like we're so quick to bash Saratoga Springs, but we don't know what they're doing. Obviously, hey, sky is the limit right now, but hilarious that this is even happening. It's so silly, but that is viral content.
One other thing I want to add too, because I feel like this is a great add-on to like our influencer episode with Sammy and how, who knows, like I'm gonna guess that he didn't have any brand deal or anything, but let's just say he seriously loves this water and he's like, you know what, like, because right now I'm looking at their Instagram and they only have 23.5 thousand followers, which it's a lot, but like it's a lot for water, but like this type of moment. So to me, if you are wanting to be an influencer, and I feel like we've said this for years now, maybe a year, because it's like I feel like, but it's one of those things where create the content you want to see and like with the brands you want. Granted, I feel like for both Jessica and I, we really do have, I shouldn't speak for Jess, but like expensive taste. But it's one of those things where this is a good reminder to me where I'm like, yeah, if I am investing in something expensive, why not make user generated content with it? Because it's like, who's, you know, like that's just honestly me also telling my audience where I really do like this brand. I really do like this product. And I do believe it is worth this money and this investment. So
Yeah. No, I'm glad you said that because I saw something the other day that really like has stuck with me, and it makes so much sense. But we've been doing so much content on the podcast here with our amazing guests around founder content, personal content, and I saw this advice and I was like, you know what? Yes, that is like the best advice I think I needed to hear in that moment because I'm so just blocked with like creating content on my own. But document, don't create. And I think that is such a good strategy when it comes to, you know, we always talk about like, how do you find your own way as a content creator? How do you differentiate? And it's by being you, it's by being authentic. We've talked about it, but like you do that through documenting, not creating. Now, that being said, like you can, like Maddie said, I think you should like stage and product place those dream brands that you want to brand deal with, because that will like become so naturally. But anyway, I just wanted to add that. So anyway, if you guys haven't watched this, you need to just, I think there's so many good lessons within this one viral piece of content, and I'm excited to see where it goes. But Maddie, what's on your feed?
Well, speaking of dream brands, and honestly, a brand who I think could tap into the parody is Unwell. And what has been on my feed is Unwell's Spring Break. You guys, I think I have more FOMO on this than I do Tart's trip. Oh, granted, I think I would die because like I'm very like I am, yes, I am an extrovert, but I am very introverted. And it would be one of those things where I would need somebody like Jessica to go with me. And I feel Jessica and I are very much like same vibe, same energy level. And I know something like that would definitely excite us. Our adrenaline would be like, oh my gosh, we made it, we're here. But also it'd be like, oh my God, I'm so scared because like shots all around, I'd be like, oh, I am not 21 anymore.
Right.
But I would so be here for like all the like brands, like sponsorship. Like it's funny because it's like they had one with Bond. I'm gonna say this wrong, but Bondi's sand, like it's a sunscreen. Like so I just would want to be there for all the like pop-ups and
yeah,
everything. And of course, like the influencers and podcasters who were there. But yeah, other than that, I wish I had more of a like lesson other than like FOMO. I think Alex did a great job of like, it's so on brand for her. Like it, and like, again, where speaking of rebrands actually, or just launches, I feel like when she came up with, again, we weren't in the boardroom, but I'm going to pretend that we were. And I feel like when, they created Unwell, right? You already know they were talking about the partnership with the women's soccer team. You already know they were talking about the spring break, because something like that, like it got launched, and like then the announcement with the soccer team got announced like a few months after that, where I feel like this is actually a great segue into today's topic, if I'm being honest, because branding, or like, doing a rebrand, a launch, like you're launching a new product, it takes time. And I think sometimes you want to think that it only takes a week or so. Wrong.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Yeah, it really takes months and months, and even then, like I'm so impatient, but like I can also trust the process, because I know if I trust the process just by like experience of, rebranding and launching other things and doing it for clients as well, like I just know it's going to be so much better if I do really slow down, and not get so carried away of like, oh, let's, speed up the deadline or move it up or whatnot. And so we've been thinking about this and working on this for quite some time. This is something that we had at like our 2024 end of year planning meeting as a team. And we slowly thought through like what it would look like. And now granted, we had multiple moving pieces. Like we had a photo shoot in Q1 that was for this. So again, to do a really
holding
fun
on to those pictures was so hard. Hard. And even with our new logos, not to just like change the profile picture.
Right.
Like I'm laughing because like we're recording this literally the week before, and I don't know.
We still don't have it live. Yeah.
Like I don't know how many times both Jessica and I are like, "Oh, are you sure?
Like, should we just do it? Yeah.
Should we just do it?
We'll have like a planning meeting and we'll talk about it, and then we're like, should we do this? But then we hold each other accountable, so we're good. We're almost there. Once this is live, it's live. It's happening. We got a fun week planned. So if you're listening to like the episode on Monday, then you know. Or if you're listening later, go creep on the brands.
Yes.
Listen up, social media managers, freelancers, and online business bosses. If you're still out here trying to Google your way to success, it's time for an upgrade. The #Managed Collective is a free Facebook group where we ditch the fluff and get real about what actually works in social media management. community, coaching, and resources. Because your ideal clients don't just magically find you. We're a group of 20,000 plus social media managers, and it's absolutely free to join us. So what are you waiting on? Join now at hashtagmanage.com/group. Thanks so much for listening to this episode. If you made it this far, I think we've officially become internet besties. You can always call into the hashtag hotline and say hello, leave a review, or ask your burning questions.
Make sure you follow, rate, and review the podcast wherever you're listening from. Subscribe to the Social Club newsletter for our weekly email, and shoot us a DM over at hashtag manage on Instagram, letting us know what your biggest takeaway was from this episode.